I read somewhere, if you don't come out of this quarantine with a new skill, your side hustle started, or more knowledge, you never lacked time. You lacked discipline. For a short while, after catching up on sleep, movies and YouTube videos, I must admit that I believe this as well. But then I realized that what matters for us, especially in these times, is not about time versus discipline. It was about inner peace without a feeling of guilt and in acceptance of fear. Hi everyone, my name is Antonia, and in this channel I'm sharing my experiences and observations on mental and physical health in an attempt to help you find those things that make you truly happy while addressing and overcoming certain challenges on the way there. Let's get right into today's topic. With so many contradictory and dark media messages and stress coming from a worldwide culture of overachievement at any cost, even in such difficult times, it's not difficult to lose peace of mind. And this time, people recognized its importance. Their increased focus on mental health revealed just how underestimated it was before the pandemic. The illusion that everyone is doing great at all times, or at least they should pretend to be, even if they're not, has been shattered. If this is part of the new normal after the pandemic, then it better stay that way. Striving to go back to the old normal might deprive us of all the lessons learned throughout the pandemic. To honor and prioritize our mental health, our family and our community. To appreciate frontline workers and reward them accordingly. To give nature a break and preserve it. To rethink the complete worship of work and productivity, and to disassociate what the media and businesses are trying to sell us as a perfect life from our own desired reality. What can we do to help change those non-functioning systems, practices and priorities highlighted by the pandemic? Being our true selves. Not our best selves, not our future selves, but our raw, genuine, imperfect and self-accepting selves, ready to help and appreciate others instead of competing with them. To preserve nature as our joint home instead of a mere source of resources, and to be free of a feeling of guilt, and to be grateful for our capacity to fear danger, which has saved us from danger many times. Following this pandemic, what do we have to feel guilty for? That we haven't attended yet another course, achieved yet another certificate, climbed yet another corporate ladder, made more money for yet another corporate budget, satisfied yet another demand of someone else but us? Or that we dealt with an unprecedented global event in the best way that we could and that we were allowed to, because some things were and still are out of our control. The only thing that is in our control is our own self. There is a reason we are called human beings, not doings. Let us acknowledge just what exactly we have been through. The danger to our health and life, the grief, loneliness or forced cohabitation with abusers, and the financial hardship, among many other things, have resulted in anxiety, depression, OCD, anger, insomnia, excessive drinking, binge eating and weight gain. And yet you are still here. This in itself is a huge success. To help you realize how significant your achievement is, let me tell you that you are overcoming even your own biology. When faced with a threat, our brain's amygdala reacts and adrenaline is released into the bloodstream, which prepares us for a fight, flight or freeze reaction. But in prolonged periods of danger, such as a pandemic, the reactive fear turns into chronic stress, and our cortisol levels trigger symptoms of depression and anxiety. These symptoms might resemble other conditions such as obsessive-compulsive disorder and PTSD. In a post-pandemic scenario, people with at least some social anxiety might dwell on how their actions and decisions will be perceived and judged by others. For example, when others want to shake hands, give them a hug, or socialize extensively and party, while the anxious person would rather keep their distance and privacy. All this is related to adherence to social norms, whereas a person with OCD is likely to be worried about adherence to health and safety measures and about the potential health-related issues linked to such social proximity. Whatever the reason, it is completely normal if you want to keep some distance from other people after this quarantine. Don't let anybody make you feel uncomfortable for it. The lockdown led to almost claustrophobic confinement, so you have the right to want to gradually ease into any social setting and overcome any fears you may have. Anxiety is indeed similar to claustrophobia, but the confining factors around you that create this feeling of entrapment are not physical walls, but mental ones. So anxiety is in effect not physical claustrophobia, but situational claustrophobia. The most commonly recommended way to deal with both anxiety and claustrophobia is exposure to triggers. But a very important precondition is always overlooked. That exposure could help only if we do not deny or challenge our own fears or label them as irrational, because this puts us in opposition to our own fears and in denial of our right to have these fears in the first place. Know that for your own reality and your own even unconscious reasons to feel this way, these fears are completely rational. If your body and your mind put you in a state of fear, own it and accept it. If you wait to conquer it before you even start something, you may never start anything at all. So instead of denying yourself the right to be afraid, say to your fear, "Thank you for caring about me and for trying to protect me." Then ask yourself, what have I learned from having this fear? What limitations has this fear imposed on me? What lies beyond these limitations that is currently out of reach for me because of this fear? How much do I truly want to access or achieve this thing beyond the limitations? While acknowledging my fear, what gradual steps can I start taking towards this desired thing? How much does my desire to achieve this thing outweigh the fear, or vice versa? Is there any price to this, and am I ready to pay this price? How could my achievement benefit myself and others? So the way to deal with these fears is not to label them as irrational, unreal or wrong, and to focus on battling them, but to acknowledge them and think of everything that is beyond them and focus on these rewards instead. In this way, you create a vision and desire towards a particular goal, and this might diminish the fear to a size that you can put in your pocket and take along on your journey. So be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself for what you thought you could have done better before and during the pandemic. You were only operating with what you knew at the time. Stop pushing yourself to always be better at certain things after the pandemic than you were before or during the pandemic. Give yourself time to learn and get used to everything that is new and different now compared to what it was before the pandemic. Break down significant goals into smaller chunks, chip at them every now and then reward yourself for every small achievement. Give yourself a break. Think what you had taken for granted before the pandemic, cherish it and enjoy it now. Don't put it off. Enjoy your hobby without a feeling of guilt that you are spending time on it instead of on work and productivity. Allow yourself to save up for your own dreams as well. Don't allow anyone to make you feel like you owe them anything when you don't. Allow yourself to ask for help when you need it. Don't linger in the past. Don't anguish in anticipation of the future. Live in the present moment. Find time for yourself every day. Pamper yourself, go out in nature, trust yourself, your body signs and your intuition, prioritize your physical and mental health, pace yourself and love yourself. If you are getting value now, please like, share, subscribe and hit that bell button to get notified when I post a new video. Check out my other videos and let me know down in the comments if you would like to hear more on this topic or any other topics, because I care about what's important to you.